somebody who does something to better this world, and somebody who we can all take inspiration home from. And so we start off with a live interview, and then we have the open mic. And if you haven't signed up, please add your name. The list is filling up quickly. We got a couple alternate spots on there if we have extra time. And then we have the Emmett sisters. Let's make some noise for the Emmett sisters joining us tonight. And with that, let's keep the applause going from Lisa Wimberger, everybody. All right, Hurley, go ahead. Have you started already?
It's already going.
All right, Hurley's got the video going. And everybody, we like to do these live interviews and just kind of being able to give someone a platform to share with us what they've been doing in their life and their career. And Lisa's an amazing inspiration for me. I've seen her open the Neurosculpting Institute. We actually filmed that on our YouTube channel. She's the founder of the Neurosculpting Institute. She's the author of this amazing book, New Beliefs, New Brain. And she's also a drummer with her husband back here, Gilly, in Little Something Something, and the band Lunar Fire. So she does so many different things. I'd just like to hear a little bit about your story. What led you to writing the book and creating the Institute? You've got some pretty traumatic things that have gone on with a lightning bolt, my friends. So please just tell us a little bit about what culminated in your life to lead you to this spot right here where you are now.
Trauma doesn't stop, because right before I got here, my 12-year-old was having a crisis. I'm fresh in that world right now. Hi, everybody. Okay, what got me here? I mean, I have a long history of body trauma, as probably many of you have your own story of trauma. Mine was seizure disorder, and being hit by lightning at 15 and developing a seizure disorder, and having that progress into something very unmanageable. And being a meditator my whole life, kind of using meditation as a way to cope. But what I discovered after I got my diagnosis, many years after my seizures, was that I was having stress-based seizures. And so what I realized was that my meditation practice was clearly not getting rid of my stress, which is what I thought it was supposed to be doing. So what I discovered was that I was using meditation as an escape, and as a deferral, and a denial, and I was totally dissociated. And I admit that might have been user error, and that's not a fault of meditation, but I also know a lot of people could use it the same way, and it didn't help me make a difference in the world. It helped me escape the world, and I really wanted to make a difference in the world, and I had to be in the world. I had to learn how to be in my body. I had to learn how to heal my seizures. I had to learn how to be in the day-to-day, and my meditation practice was nothing like the day-to-day. It was like, let's escape, let's go to this mountaintop, let's go to this retreat. It was always leaving the day-to-day, and I didn't know how to connect them. So what I did was I took my life of meditation, and then I decided, I need to go figure out what these seizures are, so I started studying neuroscience. And studied it for a very long time, and got all sorts of different certifications in understanding the brain and the central nervous system. And what happened was that science sort of drew me deeper than I ever imagined in meditation. It made my meditation practice so much richer because I could understand how I was navigating my brain, how my brain was navigating my body, how my body was talking to my spirit, how my spirit was then commanding my brain, which was then talking to my body. It was this loop that finally made sense. And so my meditation practice, I shifted it into something very methodical and strategic based on what I was learning with neuroscience. And that's when everything changed. That's when I overcame my seizure disorder. That's when things started to heal. And so at that point, that was 2007, I started teaching this technique to deal with stress. I started teaching it to law enforcement agencies because I felt like if I could help dehumanize officers, that maybe we wouldn't be where we are today. Of course, I'm got a lot to do, and clearly I didn't really heal that all on my own, but I saw where it was going, and I saw the need, and I still do that. So I couldn't really do that when I was dissociated. And then that turned into the Opening Institute in 2012 in Boulder, and then Opening Institute in Denver, which you came to and filmed, and just sharing this work with people all over the world. And we have local students, and we have students overseas. Half of our students are overseas, and now we have 50 certified trainers in this country and one in Spain sharing this work. Yeah.
Such a beautiful story and the path that you've walked to be here. And can you just tell us a little about the fact, or the power of letting go of the fear and the power of stepping into more of the love vibration?
We always hear, especially in the spiritual community, we always hear about love over fear and fear over love. And these two things always kind of partnered together, and this is a choice we have. And that's all well and good, but we don't always know how to make that choice, because when we're in fear, it's really hard to choose love because we're in it. But when I started learning about the brain and started understanding that those two things live in very different places in the brain, if I knew what to do to get to the other parts of my brain and tease them into activity, then it became a simple formula. It didn't need to be a far-off hope. It didn't need to be something that other people could have and not me. All it became was an easy formula. If I know what I need to do to trigger that part of my brain, then bam, fear dials down and love is accessible. And so fear is governed by the center of the brain. That's irrefutable. It's in all mammals. It's governed by the same spot in the top of the central nervous system, in the middle of the brain. And that is not where we have discovered things like compassion and empathy and problem solving and solutions. Those do not live there. Those actually correlate to activity in the very front of the brain. So this is a really basic formula that is a gift to all of us. They don't cohabitate in one location, which is a gift, because that means at any moment we're in fear, we know where we are in the brain. And now we know where we need to go to reach for compassion. And science tells us how we can get to the front of the brain with simple daily exercises, food, all sorts of super pragmatic, easy things to entrain to moving activity to the front of the brain. So it's no longer this ambiguous wish and hope. I wish I could choose love in this moment. It doesn't even have to be ambiguous. It's concrete. I know exactly how to get that part of my brain fired up so that love and compassion is accessible. Because it is not accessible when we are in fear, because that part of the brain is actually turned off. When we are in fear, we have inhibited our neurological access to compassion. And nothing shows that better than an election transition year. And it's not even about sides. It's about creating a platform of fear that then inhibits our ability to reach in for compassion and solutions and love. But if you understand that each of us has our own brain and our own ability to navigate it, and our own responsibility to navigate it, and we don't have to wait for anybody to move us out of fear. We get to do that ourselves. It's like, are you hungry? Go eat, right? You don't wait for the miraculous delivery man to suddenly know you're hungry and come to your house with a pizza you never ordered. You don't wait passively to be fed. This is the same thing. We don't have to wait to have compassion totally accessible. And if we each learned how to do that, and that became a skill, then we would be empowered and centered, and then we'd be senior in our bodies to create the world we want to create, which is what your organization is doing. I love that you said you're moving out of the problems and into solutions. You're moving out of the center of the brain as an organization and into the front of the brain as an organization. You're actually doing that transition as an organization, which is really, really cool. It's a simple formula, and the choice is made far easier if you just know the underlying language instruction. There's foods you can eat to help you get there, and there's foods that you can eat that are going to keep you in fear. There's practices you can do that will do one or the other. There's social engagements you can have that will polarize one or the other. And once you start to see that everything you're doing in your life either pushes you towards the center of the brain or pushes you towards the front, then your choices get to be so much clearer. It's like riding a bike. You gotta learn the rules to then ride it. And then you can ride it artfully, and then you can ride a unicycle, and then you can do tricks on it. You can make it whatever you want. But the rules of balance and momentum are universal. The rules of navigating the brain are universal, but we're not really taught that. So that's what we do.
So there's so many ways to plug in with Lisa's work. I know she's got audio tapes as well as a book, and she's got a new book as well. I know I went to one of the introduction to neural sculpting classes, and there's immersions that are sometimes here and sometimes in other countries, which is kind of cool. And I just know there's so many different ways to learn more. She does full-on classes for many hours, and so if you could just like share, you know, as somebody who's gone from these seizures, flatlining, and being able to use her practice to then further her practice, and then be able to teach all of us, please let us know how we can plug in and stay in touch with you.
Yeah. So we offer all sorts of classes for no experience necessary at the Institute on Colfax and Lafayette in Denver, Neurosculpting Institute. You can always just go on the website, neurosculptinginstitute.com, and look at the calendar and just jump into any class that looks interesting. And in every class, you're going to learn about brain dynamics, and then you're going to have walkthroughs of guided meditations that are specifically doing those things to your brain. And each class has a different topic or theme that might interest you. We also have online, so if it's snowing and you want to stay in bed with your pajamas, you can still attend class. And you get a little video link and you can tune in. And some of you might prefer not to be with a group at all, so we've got audio downloads on the website as full classes for audio download. I have a table out there with a bunch of products from Sounds True that we recorded, and the new book from Sounds True. And then we have deep immersions where it's not just an intro class. This is going to take you deep and give you tools to shift the rest of your life. And we have those as online or self-paced or come in person. There's all different options. And we have coupons for you on that table out front. So after this interview, I'll be out there for a little bit if you want to look at some products. But I have a postcard with a 20% discount off an immersion. You can just take it, keep it in your back pocket for the time when you think you might want to take it. We also have bookmarks with other coupons for audio classes. So if you do want to get a taste of it, there's very manageable ways to do it. And we also have a library of free stuff, which everyone always loves. So on the website, we have a learning store. And if you go to the very bottom, there's a free 1-hour video class. There's a free 1-hour class we do in conjunction with Bowman College of Nutrition, because we believe that the mind, body, and spirit are not separate, so education on nutrition is a part of everything we do. And that 1-hour free class is our nutritional educator and our somatic practitioner doing breathing practices and then neurosculpting. So we've got two-hour free classes in that learning store that you can watch over and over again and get a sense of what we do.
Wow. And so this interview, as much as everyone in this room is so captivated, I feel like we could just keep going. We could just dive deeper and deeper and deeper. I think this interview is serving as a way to introduce Lisa to as many people as possible that maybe haven't heard about her work, and that you guys can then follow up if you're interested and continue diving deeper. Because we've all came here for a little music. I also have to ask you a little bit about the music. Your music was featured in the movie Arise that we had a movie night here with that film, and it was a film about tons of inspiring women across the world doing amazing, empowering work. Now, you personally weren't in the film, but your music was.
Yeah.
And I saw you at Arise Festival a couple of years in a row. And so just tell us a little about what you've used with your meditation practice to then put that into rhythm and make amazing music?
Matt's all my husband. I make far better music with him than I do on my own. Music is the expression of mind, body, spirit. And if I didn't have music and if we didn't play together, there'd be a big piece of imbalance. So it's a meditative practice to do it in real time. It's a way to connect hearts and minds in real time, and it joins people in community. So it's kind of a natural extension of the meditation practice and the practice that Gilly and I have with each other, which is all about connection and communication. That's the heart of the music. I'm not a studio musician. I want to just feel it and do it. I don't know the kind of person that reads it and executes that way.
Beautiful. So if you want to check out those projects, Little Something Something, amazing, and Lunar Fire, also amazing. Make some noise if you know those bands. Okay. So, you know, I've described Elise's work as being a superhero in the local community. We've been super inspired. We've interviewed her a few times on our channel, and I'm just super happy to bring you here and to offer all of you guys a chance to get to meet Lisa. So when this interview is over, you can have a chance to get to ask her maybe a question, quick short question, or check out her books or audio books and whatnot. But I want to finish with a way to unite all these people with a little breath. I don't really care how long you go, if you want to just go for 3 breaths, whatever you want, but I'd love you to lead us in some breaths to get us all unified, and then we'll start off the open mic portion of the evening.
All right, so we're all already breathing, so that's pretty convenient. So why don't we just take a moment, and if you'd like to close your eyes, you're welcome to do that, and just take a moment to notice the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale in a count that works for you. And as you observe your breath, I wonder if you might notice that these are equal or unequal. And even though your breath is happening in each and every moment, I wonder what it would be like to lengthen the inhale just a little more. Maybe lengthen the exhale. Maybe you even want to hear it. And perhaps you even notice that a longer exhale until there's nothing left results in a naturally larger inhale. And with your breath breathing itself in each and every moment, you always have the ability to direct it, and lengthen it, and deepen it. And as you breathe in and out, I wonder how much more of your body you might be able to feel settling into the ground or the chair. Noticing that for just this one moment, you're sheltered from the elements. Your breath is breathing itself from you and into you. You have access to clean water and food if you need it. And for this moment in time, that is your space. And you can always come back to this breath and this observation in any moment in time where you feel that things are outside of your control. Maybe one last long exhale before you open your eyes and allow your breath to stay as deep as it wants for the rest of the evening.
for this one.
Maybe out there, giving you coupons and things, and maybe a mailing list if anyone wants to be on a mailing list. So come talk to me if you feel called to. Thank you so much. It's always so great to talk with you. I love your energy, and I love where you're taking your organization.
Thank you once again. You're a huge inspiration to me, and I think as well for many more.
Everybody, we're going to keep this open mic off, and before we do, I just want to pay respect to everyone who